as the crisis has kind of driven on, that's not actually the case, and many leaseholders are facing bills of £50,000 and more for this.
How much again? 50,000, did you say?
Yes.
And you live in Stevenage, and you only found out about these problems in your building in August. Is that right?
Yeah, so we were quite late to the party, as it were, in our building, that we didn't have our fire safety survey done straight away after Grenfell. So we only found out really the extent of our fire safety issues quite recently, but many buildings have been going through this for years. So our rally on Saturday is part of a national day of protest, where lots of buildings who are involved in this will be getting together to raise awareness, basically.
And because your building is managed by a property company, have they said how much the work will cost leaseholders each?
For our building, we're expecting the cost to be over £10 million, and there's 73 of us, so you can imagine how expensive that's going to be. And in general, this crisis in the UK is estimated to be around £15 billion, for which the government have said that they will fund 5.1 billion-ish. So that kind of leaves over 60% of the costs with leaseholders. Goodness
gracious. I mean, what impact does that have for you, though, your lifetime? It must restrict life plans. It must be, weighing heavy on your mind.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, many people are struggling with depression, anxiety, just the feeling of not being able to move on. There are many young families who are trapped in these homes. We can't sell. All of these properties in the UK are worth zero. We estimate there are millions of people who are involved, some of which don't even know yet that their buildings might be dangerous and might not be able to be sold on. So lots of people, not able to take the next steps and get off a property ladder, because many of these properties are like first-time buyers or young buyers who are looking to, take the next step, move on. And I have been unable to do so for years now.
And of course, you got that situation, like you said, where you can't sell your properties. No one's going to buy those properties at the moment. And then also, it must be really concerning that it's unsafe as well.
Yeah, so we have a waking watch system in the UK, which was implemented. So for us, that means it's 4 ex-firemen who walk around the building at all times, 24 hours a day. And that costs us around £600 each per month. So it's kind of, we feel safe, but also that's contributing to families in this building who might end up going bankrupt through that measure. So we know that the building has its issues, and many of these issues were against building regulations at the time that the building was completed. So nationally, we're asking the developers to fix the building that they left in a dangerous condition and let us move on with our lives and get free of the, as you say, the dangerous building.
The figures that you're throwing around there, Sophie, I mean, the fact that you're having to find £600 a month for someone to walk around.
Yeah, it's been really difficult. It's kind of, you go to work and you know that everything you're earning is already gone. All of my savings will be used up on this. All of our sinking fund for the building has gone. So it just feels like an endless drain, and we're really not sure when we'll be free of it.
The government has a funding scheme to sort parts of this. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so as I said, the government have put forward £5.1 billion, which obviously sounds like a huge number, but there's been many select committee reviews of the situation, which are estimating the whole problem to be around 15 billion. So the government have kind of said to developers, do the right thing here, make your buildings good, or provide upfront funding at least. But there are many buildings who don't qualify for government funding because they're below 18 metres, which seems nonsensical. And obviously, for our building, we will have to stump up the rest of the money to fix it while it happens, because our management company and our freeholder probably aren't going to want to be open to that on lots of buildings in the UK. So it's kind of everyone's in a bit of a stalemate where no one really has the cash up front to solve this problem at the moment.
And read the protest. Where and when is it taking place?
So it's in Stevenage Town Centre, just by the fountain. It's for all of Hertfordshire, so we've got members coming from St Albans, Welwyn, even Luton, just outside. And it's at 12 noon, and we'll be there for about an hour. So we've got loads of leaseholders. We just want to be there to support each other, raise awareness for people who might not know they're even impacted by this yet until they try to sell. And we've got a couple of MPs who will be there, as well as families and friends, just a supportive group, because obviously people are finding this really tough, as well as we need to solve this issue.
Got to ask as well, how are you going to protest while keeping to the current restrictions at the moment? Do you have plans in place?
Absolutely, yeah. So we've done all of our COVID risk assessments. We've sent lots of notifications out to people to say, obviously, please bring hand sanitizer, wear masks, take a PCR test before you come if you can, which are obviously free now. So we're being very careful and making sure that we stick to the rules.
And just your place, was it your first property that you purchased?
Yeah, so it was my first step on the property ladder 4 years ago, which I was obviously ecstatic to have achieved. It felt like a real achievement. And since then, obviously, it's just been hell, really.
Can I ask how much you paid for it?
It was over 200,000.
And worth now?
Zero right now. There are lots of people who have sold their properties, like just wanting to move on for a third or a half of the price to cash buyers. But I think it's worth fighting for. We just need to raise awareness and make sure the government are reviewing the problem and how much it's actually going to cost. I've
got to say, Sophie, chatting to you now, I think you're incredibly strong. Because if I was in your place, I think I'd be a broken man. I think I would be in tears. Because your first purchase, your first step on that property ladder is meant to be an exciting time. Everybody remembers their first property they bought. And you saved up hard, you've worked hard to buy that, and now, like you said, it's worth zero, and now you're paying £600 a month for someone to walk around, to try and keep you safe.
Absolutely. I mean, believe me, I've been there. I'm lucky that at the moment I'm feeling strong, want to connect with other people, want to try and support people who are in a worse off position than me. We've got disabled people who are trapped in these buildings without proper evacuation plans, young families, people who will lose their jobs if they go bankrupt. So I've definitely been there, been down in the dumps, had a horrible start to the year, but at the moment I can feel like I can talk about it, and that we just need to try and raise awareness.
And it is just as simple as that. The government have just said to the developers, you do the right thing. That's it.
Yeah. And obviously, you're a developer, you're looking after your profits, you're feeding back to your shareholders. The right thing, if it costs £15 billion, is not going to be optional.